the Dodger Stadium crowd as the former president throws the first pitch to catcher Mike Scioscia prior to the Dodgers home game against the San Diego Padres on this Friday afternoon. The late afternoon start, and President Reagan makes his appearance at Dodger Stadium as the Dodgers get ready to take on the Padres.
In the bottom of the second inning of this game, Tony Gwynn makes a nice catch at the wall on the drive by Mike Scioscia. Then in the top of the third inning, Fred McGriff starts the scoring off as he hits a ground ball single off the glove of Juan Samuel into center field. That scores Bip Roberts off camera and makes the score 2-0 San Diego. It was 4-0 before the inning was over. In the bottom of the fourth inning, Cal Daniels hit a double that will score Stan Javier to make the score 4-1. It was 4-2 San Diego in the bottom of the ninth, and the Dodgers had the bases loaded, but Wes Gardner got Jeff Hamilton to ground out to short to end it. The final 4-2 San Diego. The winning pitcher was Harris. He's 1-0. The loser is Ojeda. He's 0-1. Gardner gets his first save.
And in the top of the second inning, Matt Noakes here with the single down the right field line. This will score Kevin Moss and Bam Bam Newlands. And the Yankees had an early 2-0 lead. Then in the bottom of the second inning, with the Yankees leading 3-1, Kevin Seitzer comes through with this base hit to left field. Both Kurt Stillwell and Gary Thurman will score on the play, and this ties the game at 3-3. Going now to the bottom of the third inning, it's Terry Shumpert with this single to left field. Kirk Gibson scores easily. Bam Bam comes up throwing. There's a play at the plate, but Kurt Stillwell is safe, and the Royals lead it 5-3. Still in the bottom of the third inning is Brian McRae with this single to center field. Both Gary Thurman and Terry Shumpert score, giving the Royals a 7-3 lead, and they hold on to defeat the New York Yankees 9-5.
Toronto, Kelly Gruber and the Blue Jays host the Milwaukee Brewers. Denis Boucher making his first Major League start. He's the first Canadian-born pitcher to throw for the Blue Jays. Here he strikes out Greg Vaughn in the top of the second inning. We move now into the bottom of the third inning. Toronto is ahead 1-0. They will go up 2-0. Joe Carter with a base hit to left field. This will score Roberto Alomar Jr. RBI number 6 for Joe Carter. 2-0 Toronto. Top of the fifth inning, Rick Dempsey takes Denis Bouchard deep. Rick Dempsey, his first homer of the season. RBIs number 1 and 2. This will score Willie Randolph. 3-2, Milwaukee takes the lead. Top of the sixth inning, some fine base running by Robin Yount. Greg Vaughn with the ground ball to Manny Lee, who throws home. Robin Yount beats the tag. Milwaukee takes a 4-3 lead. They would have this lead until the bottom of the ninth inning. Devon White at the plate for the Blue Jays. Runners on first and third. 2 outs. Devon White with a base hit off of Edwin Nunez. He will score Glenn Allen Hill. Toronto ties the game up at 4 in the bottom of the ninth inning. In the bottom of the 11th inning, nobody out, nobody on. The first pitch of the inning, Mark Whitten takes Dan Plesac deep for his first homer of the season, giving the Toronto Blue Jays a 5-4 win in 11 innings. Winning pitcher was Mike Timlin with a record of 2-0. Dan Plesac took the loss. His record is 0-1. This fan got clocked off the head with the home run hit by Mark Whitten. She was down for several minutes, but managed to get up.
The plate against starting pitcher for Montreal, Bill Sampson, in a scoreless game in the fourth inning. Hubie goes downtown for a home run, his second of the season. The Soul Blast makes it 1-0 Mets after 4. Ivan Calderon bats in the top of the sixth inning. The Mets leading 1-0. Ron Darling, the starter from New York, delivers, and Calderon singles into left field. Delino DeShields scores. It's 1-1 through 6. Top 8, it's still tied, but Delino DeShields hits a 2 RBI single. Andres Galarraga and Gilberto Reyes score 3-1 Montreal in the 8th. Bottom 8, Darrell Boston at the plate. He hits a long fly ball off of Barry Jones to straightaway center field that Dave Martinez can't get. It's a triple for Boston, and more importantly, crossing the plate is Howard Johnson, so 3-2 New York is trailing. And Mark Carrion, the pinch hitter, follows with a base hit single up the middle that scores Darrell Boston from third base, and it's 3-3 through 8, now in extra innings. In the 11th inning, Gilberto Reyes at the plate against John Franco. Reyes delivers a single off Greg Jeffrey's glove, Nelson Santavina scores to make it a 4-3 Montreal lead and win. Tim Burke 1-0, John Franco 0-1, Steve Fry his first save. The replay shows how close Greg Jeffries came to catching that ball.
Friday night at Philadelphia. It's the 20th anniversary of Vet Stadium. Jim Bunning throwing out the first ball. And in the bottom of the first inning, with the Cardinals up 1-0 on Dale Murphy's error, he redeems himself with a base hit to center field. Lenny Dykstra scores, and the game is tied at 1 apiece. Then in the bottom of the second inning, with the Phillies up 2-1, it's Lenny Dykstra with this, no doubt about it, shot to right field. It's his first home run of the season, and the Phillies grab a 3-1 lead. Then with the Phillies leading 6-1 in the bottom of the fourth, it's John Kruk with the double down the right field line. Darren Dalton comes in to score easily. Here comes Von Hayes, a close play at the plate, but he is also safe, and the Phillies grab an 8-1 lead. For Kruk, 2 doubles and 3 runs batted in on the night. Then in the bottom of the eighth, with the Phillies leading 9-4, it's Darren Dutch Dalton with this RBI double. He had 2 doubles and 2 RBIs on the night. The Phillies go on to defeat the St. Louis Cardinals 11-4. The winner, Pat Combs, he's 1-0. The loser, Jamie Moyer, 0-1.
Friday night Major League Baseball action, Oakland, California. Tony La Russa and his Oakland Athletics entertaining the Seattle Mariners. Pickup action in the bottom of the first inning, Oakland trailing by a score of 1-0 after a Ken Griffey Jr. ground out scored Harold Reynolds in the top of the first inning. Dave Henderson would go deep off Mariners starter Scott Bankhead for his second home run of the season. This solo shot tied the game up at 1-1. Bottom of the third inning, bases loaded, Harold Baines the batter. Baines will take this Bankhead pitch into left center field. This will clear the bases, scoring Gallego, Weiss, and Blankenship, and putting Oakland on top after 3 innings by a score of 4-1. We move to the top of the 8th inning. Oakland on top by a score of 6-1. Todd Burns on the mound. Dave Valley the batter. Valley goes deep on Burns, but Willie Wilson comes up with a fine catch at the wall to rob Valley of a home run or at least extra bases. Here's one more look at the great catch at the wall by Willie Wilson. In the 8th inning, Oakland leads by a score of 6-1.
Night in their home opener, the Minnesota Twins are hosting the California Angels. In the bottom of the first inning, ex-Angel Chili Davis hits a ground ball single up the middle that scores Chuck Knobloch, making the score 1-0 Twins. They made it 2-0 in the bottom of the second on this triple by Greg Gagne that probably should have been ruled a single and a 2-base error on Luis Polonia. That scores Scott last and makes the score 2-0 Minnesota after 2. They scored 2 more in the third to make it 4-0. Kevin Tapani was pitching well for Minnesota here in the top of the fourth inning. He picks up his 4th strikeout of the game as he gets Dave Parker swinging. In the bottom of the 5th inning, Minnesota increased their lead to 6-0. Ken Herbeck hit a ground ball single through short as the infield was pulled over on a shift. He hits it through short, scoring Chuck Knobloch and Kirby Puckett, making the score 6-0 Minnesota, and that turned out to be the final score. Kevin Tapani went all the way for his second career shutout. He tied a career high with 9 strikeouts and struck out the side in the 9th. His record is now 1-0, while the loser, Jim Abbott, is 0-1.
Friday night at Detroit, it's the Detroit Tigers taking on Jeff Torborg and the Chicago White Sox. And in the top of the third inning, it's Tim Raines here with this drive to right field just over Rob Diaz's glove. For Tim Raines, it's a stand-up double and his first American League hit and first hit as a Chicago White Sox. Later in the top of the third, it's Robin Ventura with this ground ball is short. Trammell to Tony Phillips, and Phillips drops the ball. Tim Raines comes in to score. Everybody's safe, and the White Sox lead it 1-0. Then with the score tied at 1 in the top of the 8th inning, Carlton Fisk comes through with the base hit to left field. Joey Cora comes around to score, and the White Sox lead it 2-1. Then in the top of the 9th inning, it's Frank Thomas with this double off the right center field wall. Lance Johnson and Craig Grayback come in to score and give the White Sox a 4-1 lead, and that would be your final score. The White Sox defeat the Tigers 4-1. Thigpen gets his second save. Alex Fernandez his first win.
From Arlington, Texas on Friday evening, hello as the Texas Rangers host the Baltimore Orioles. This is Joe Orsulak at the plate against Bobby Witt. Texas is trailing 2-0. Look at this great sliding catch by Denny Walling off of Orsulak. And turnaround is fair play because now Joe Orsulak in right field will make a great play after misjudging the Kevin Reimer fly ball in the bottom of the 4th inning. Now for offense. 2-0 Orioles in the 5th inning. Glenn Davis at the plate with Cal Ripken on first base. Glenn Davis in opposite field double that scores Ripken all the way from first. 3-0 Orioles in the 5th, now in the 7th. But first, here in the bottom of the 6th, Dave Johnson pitching to Denny Walling, and we get the comebacker to end the 6th. Johnson would go 6 1/3 innings of shutout ball. In fact, 4 Oriole pitchers would combine.
Or makes this game feel much colder. Pickup action in the top of the 4th inning in a scoreless ball game. There, Jeff King with the ground ball to deep short. A nice diving stop by Sean Dunston, but Andy Van Slyke scores from third base, and the Pirates lead it 1-0. Then the top of the 6th inning, Bobby Bonilla with a single into right field. Van Slyke once again scores. RBI number 3 for Bonilla, and the Pirates are on top 2-0. Then the top of the 7th inning, Jay Bell with a ground ball through the hole into left field. Jose Lean scores, and the Pirates go on top by a score of 3-0. It was a cold day at Wrigley Field as this gentleman tries to keep warm. And then in the bottom of the 8th inning, the Cubs do get their lone run of the day when Doug DeCenzo comes up and pokes a single into left field. Joe Girardi scores, and the Pirates' lead is cut to 3-1. Then the bottom of the 9th inning with 2 men out, Vicente Palacios wraps things up when he gets Sean Dunston to pop out the shortstop as the Pirates take this one 3-1. John Smiley with the win, his record 1-0. Sean Bosky takes the loss, his record now 0-1. Palacios his first save.